All right, ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? It's Sunday night. Welcome to another dirty episode. I'm Claudio Capri. This awesome pizza and a cat is Joy Laflamme. And the bottom we
Yes.
have the amazing Frankie the Mobster. Just before we continue, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Everyone who's going to be watching and listening. Hold on, give me a sec. Okay, now I glitched for a sec. All right, so
Jesus
everyone who's
Christ.
tuning
This is
in.
a well-oiled machine.
I know exactly. Exactly. Things are gonna be happening. We don't know what's gonna go on, but we're gonna roll with it. First of all, how are you both doing tonight?
Well, Joey, go ahead, buddy.
All right, since the 10 seconds, since last minute you asked, I'm doing still well.
Good. And how about you, Frankie? How's
Pretty good.
everything?
I'm pretty good, buddy. It's been I've been sick for the past week, like crazy ass fucking sick, with some lung infection, and I had to get some antibiotic. It really destroyed me, and now I got on top of it. I got rid of it. Was able to go to the gym for the past couple of days. Really helping my
Nice.
moral and my general attitude and well being. So I'm great. Actually, I'm wonderful. If you should.
Awesome. Perfect. So no, let's dive
I
right
like,
into
I
it.
like how he talks about his attitude right and before the interview. Like, better be a good interview because
Yeah,
that shit's
exactly.
where it's on.
Give me 1 second, guys. I lost your volume here.
All right.
Okay, I should be back. Let's go.
All right. Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. So let's get into this. So to everyone who doesn't know who Frankie the Mobster is, Frankie.
Guys, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. The volume cut off. Keep on
All right.
talking. I'll be right
All right.
back. For whatever reason, I had a glitch here.
No problem. All right. So that was fun.
If the interview keeps going like this, there's gonna be a standard 34 episode, like a shit wagon with like a retard wagon with two wheels, two
Exactly.
ineffectual wheels.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. One wheel is bigger than the other.
Exactly, and one wheel sounds like cluck 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 cluck, and the other one is like ho 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 wee wee. Yeah,
I'm
hey
back.
man.
All right.
All right.
Perfect. So so Frankie, let's get into this. So people who don't know who Frankie the Mobster is, can you just tell us a little bit about that person, that character?
Oh, geez. Frankie the Mobster is an old bag that's been wrestling for far too long. All around, I'd say Canada. I've been to the States a little bit a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
I am, first and foremost, I'm a passionate guy who's been doing this since I was 16. Started out in some boony, thick-ass town called Valleyfield 26 years ago. With a bunch of guys you wouldn't probably know anything about. Then I moved on from promotion to promotion.
Mhm.
When I started out, I was a skinny ass runt. I was 137 pounds, and I just had a dream, and I pursued it. I was fortunate enough to live some tremendous, amazing, mind-blowing experiences from wrestling.
Mhm.
Which helped me go into acting, which I'm more or less focusing on right now,
Okay.
more so than wrestling. So Frankie the Mobster is a guy that started out as a little skinny ass, arrogant run. Went through a plethora of disappointments, mischiefs, problems. Then he moved on to a different Frankie. He kind of grew a little
Okay.
bit. And further, he got into a bigger guy. Now, the name remains. I'm still Frankie, but I character morphed into all of my failures and things and disappointments and all the things that have haunted me since I've been in wrestling are basically the components of what the character's turning out to be nowadays. The character nowadays is everything that's ever made me miserable, everything that's ever made me sad, everything that's ever ruined me about wrestling is into a big melting pot,
Mhm.
boiling into like an uncontrollable rage, and I just let that character spit it out in front of everyone.
That's
Okay, okay.
interesting. So let's get let's do that chronologically. So at least we can fill that hour. So you said you started doing wrestling like 26 years ago in Valleyfield, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So how was the wrestling business in the province of Quebec back then?
it was fucking shit. It was awful because back in the day, it was still there was this older group of guys that were really corny, really protective. Older guys
Mm,
that came from the Rougeau generation
mm,
and whatnot, and they did not want to let any younger guys come in and try to have a chance at it. And when I came in, I was a skinny little guy, like I told you.
Mhm.
I was
mm,
fortunate enough to have a guy who took a liking and saw the passion I had and gave me a chance to train.
Mhm.
That wonderful man being Mark the Grizzly, who's nowadays retired. He's
Mhm.
trained so many Quebec wrestlers,
Mhm.
and we started from scratch. We would train in a high school in l'Epiphanie. In a
okay.
high
Okay.
school gym, we had the mat. We didn't have a ring, but we'd go there twice a week on mats, run some drills, take some bumps, work some spots, work
Mm-hmm.
on
Mhm.
our characters, work on our promos, and from then on, I mean, we went on from these shows. We got noticed by some other promoters.
Okay.
Me and a group of guys, being Chacal, who still wrestles for NCW, Black Eagle, Stephen the Sweet Boy,
Mm,
Chase Ironside. We There was this elite group of little guys, younger guys, smaller guys who were given a chance to run with the ball, so to speak. We
Okay.
were given a chance to work in Ontario as well for Ron Etchison,
mm,
trainer extraordinaire of guys the likes of Christian Edge,
mm.
Okay.
Gail Kim, Tracy Brooks. And he took a liking to us too, so that got us established in Ontario. From then on, we just kept on moving on, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting you say that because that reminds me toward the 2000s, like there were a big wave of like Canadian wrestlers
Just
like
give me one
coming in
second, guy.
WWF.
Keep talking.
Yeah, sure. I'm
Okay.
keeping talking. So yeah, no, I noticed that there were a big wave of Canadian wrestlers like toward the end of the
Mhm.
90s and
Mhm.
toward the start of the 2000s, like the Trish
Mhm.
Stratus, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho
Yeah.
were starting to be really big around that time.
Mhm.
I think also about that guy Storm, La Révolution. They were actually
Okay.
Quebecers, you know. So
Okay.
yeah, like it's really
I'm back,
interesting.
guys.
Says that
Sorry.
they were big. They
No
were that
problem.
wave of like Canadian wrestling going. Making it in WWF.
Yeah.
What is the type of wrestling that got you like? What wrestler got you hooked on wrestling when you were just like 137 pounds?
Say again. My kind of wrestler. What?
What wrestler got you hooked on wrestling when you were just 137 pounds? Like before you
My
mobster.
I watched started watching wrestling when I was younger. I really got into the bigger guys like the Giants, but the
Mm.
one guy that really drew my attention and made me want to be a professional wrestler was Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash, really?
Okay.
Not because he's a good wrestler, because he's not.
Yeah,
I'll be the first
obviously
one to
not.
tell you. But he was captivating. He was
Mm.
mind-boggling. You saw this guy across short curtain. You saw that smirk on his face. You saw the size of this behemoth, this giant. He looked like the ultimate superhero to me, and he was cool as hell. He had such gravitas, such presence, such
Mm.
charisma. I wanted to be Kevin Nash, and because I was such a short ass, skinny
Mm.
ass runt, I projected myself through this giant of a man, and I want to be exactly like he was. When I started wrestling, I remember going to the seamstress with pictures of him, and I'm like, I want to be this guy. And the
Mm.
seamstress obliged with, of course, the nice comments and saying, "Well, aren't you a little small?"
Yeah, I remember that.
And I'm like, "Give me time." And eventually, it took 15 years, but I got to tag with Kevin Nash once.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
nice.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, in
Okay.
Ontario, and that to this day, it's still, I would say, the coolest wrestling moment I've ever had,
Hmm.
because
Nice.
I had pictures of this guy all over my walls in my room as a kid, and just walking to the ring and having him right next to me coming up, doing the big, like, cranking up the fist and cranking, just
Yeah.
every diesel move, all the big move, the side, all those four moves, and getting to do it, getting to do them with him in the ring was just
Nice.
phenomenal. It was amazing.
It's like remembering all the six moves from Kevin Nash. It's like remembering all the lines from a mute movie, you know.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So then, a little bit in your acting career, because I looked up your IMDb, and you were on District 31, which you did a fantastic job. You were on
Thank
the
you.
last. You were on last Paul Walker movie, Brick Masons or Brick
Yeah.
Mansions. Can you just and then you were on Bulk Cup, Back Cup too. But I
Yeah.
want because I want to know a little bit. No, so how was it working with with Paul Walker on on Brick Mason and RZA? How was it working with them?
Paul Walker was I didn't really. I saw him twice, right? I saw him on 2 different days.
Okay.
But from what I saw of him, he was one of the nicest, most genuine human beings I've ever met.
Okay.
He was a real person, and he didn't take himself too seriously. He didn't think he was hot shit. He was just a cool. He was friendly to every single person on set, and you don't get that from all the actors that I've met or crossed paths with. Most of them will give some ego or will not treat everybody on set with the same regard and the same respect.
Okay.
He did. He was just a genuine, kind man. He was very generous with his energy when he shared a scene with them. And he was just friendly. He was all smiles. He had great positive energy.
Nice, awesome. And then I know. So you were on. I mentioned Bone Cup, Back Cup too.
Yeah.
And so how was it? How was working on a sequel from a successful Quebec film?
It's it doesn't really affect me in the way that I didn't have a part that was going to impact the movie in that way. But I mean,
Okay.
I can most definitely understand that there was a lot of hype regarding that movie. But the people that wrote it, being Patrick Huard, and the two lead actors, being Patrick and Colin Pure, had a lot of they had a lot of pressure to deliver, and
Okay.
so did the director. And but the director had great control over his set, and he knew from the get-go the approach that he wanted. He wanted it to be slightly different from the first one. He wanted it to be more punchy, more gags, more like he didn't want the scenes to be as drawn out as they were in the first one. He wanted the rhythm of the movie to be faster, quicker, more to the punch, and it worked in that aspect. Meaning that I think that the movie was better in that term. It was quick, to the point, like funny. There was no drawn out moment, no long periods of non-comical sequences.
Okay.
It really did the job, and they knew what they were getting into before starting to shoot. I think they had written such a great script. So
Cool, awesome. Yeah. So, how do you, how do you balance going from, acting to wrestling? Like, how do you get yourself into that mindset? I mean, one day you're on film set, and then the next night you become Frankie the Mobster.
Well, being Frankie, I haven't been Frankie for 25 years, more or less. It's pretty easy to get there.
Okay.
Going into Frankie mode per se, jumping back into this character, I can just be in the back, chatting with the boys. The music hits. I go like, okay, I'll see you in a bit, guys, because I know this character through and through.
Okay.
I've created every single bitty aspect of him, and a lot of not a lot. Everything about Frankie is me in a way, which is fun. Which is what is fun about independent wrestling. You get a lot more creative leeway than you would in the major TV oriented promotions.
I heard about that.
And you're given creative guidelines as to what you have to do, as to what you have to produce as a character on the show, but creative guidelines of your character per se are your own. And I've worked with this character, I've manipulated this character, I've molded this character so much that it's
Okay.
really easy for me to get there. It's as in, if I get on the movie set, it's more of a challenge because you got to
Yeah.
recreate and find a new base for another character that you need to look into. It's the same thing, and that's what's fun about, to me,
Mhm.
that's what's fun about wrestling, and that's what's fun about acting, is
Mhm.
getting to manipulate emotions. I
Okay.
am not one of those wrestlers that will tell you that I'm into the business for the wrestling aspect of it. To be quite honest with you, I don't care much for it.
Okay.
The wrestling moves. I don't want people to go around and say, "Oh, Frankie's such a great wrestler." I really don't give a fuck if they say that or not. I want
Okay.
people to fucking say, "I saw Frankie, and that was fucking wild. That was insane. That guy is bad shit crazy." That's what I want them to say. I don't want them to. He pulled that corkscrew somersault Hurricane Rana on one of the guys. That was so insane. I cannot recall one time when somebody talked about the moves that I did, but they for sure remembered the emotions that I provided. And that's what I like, the common thing between the movie sets and the wrestling.
Mhm.
That's what makes it easy for me to reach out and go back into the zone on both of those performances that have to do
Okay.
is the fact that I get to play with emotions, and I love doing that.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I know it's interesting because when I saw you for the first time, I'm like, because for me, and you know, the whole night, like it was you and it was the Casanova Productions. For me, you guys were the highlights of the night, especially when I saw you with the entrance music, and I turned to Frank Jofo. I was with him, like.
Yeah,
I'm like, this guy is, you know, like for me, because I'm getting into wrestling. I'm getting
yeah,
back
yeah.
into wrestling. I'm like, you know what, like this guy should have his, like, you know, should be on bigger stuff as well, right? But like just the way you just come on, you know, come on and split blood. I'm like, you know what? If God of War is going to be filmed like this guy, because to me, I'm like, guys, I turned to Frank Jofo and I'm like, wait a minute, he tells you you're Frankie the Mobster. I'm like, no, no, he can't, because I thought Frank was pulling my leg, and then the announcer was saying Frankie the Mobster. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
because I'm like, all right, so it's gonna be a wise guy in a suit. That's what I thought it was. And then when he came on, I'm like, holy shit, this is. And then when you just like for me, it's like, you know, I love wrestling because I love the character aspect, the story aspect of
Mhm.
it, right? Then, you know, the fact that, you know, your emotions coming, and then you just look down on the ring. I'm like, man, if I was a wrestler, I'm like, I throw in the white flag. I'm like, I can't take this guy out.
See that,
Like
and I'm the
Kratos.
easiest guy. I'd like to think I'm one of the easiest guys to work with
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to establishing like a storyline or a flow in a
Mm-hmm.
match.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever I work with will tell you I will do everything in my power to make their characters look good, to make their wrestling moves come out strong, all
Mm-hmm.
within an interesting emotional guideline that we work on.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I emotions are the most important things, and I'm glad that this is what you picked out from me from the first time that you saw me. If I was able to hook you on with just a presentation and then move on with projecting emotions through the matches, then I'm really glad.
Oh,
Kind of
pleasure,
remind me
pleasure.
something that Terry Funk used to say. I cannot make you believe that wrestling is real, but I can make you believe that Terry Funk is real.
That's exactly my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, but you know what? And then another thing that was for me, I was looking into is your music, right? When you come out with that with Tina
Cool. Yeah.
Go, yeah. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, because I was looking at, because at first, because it was taking me a long time to try and figure out, trying to understand. I'm
It
like,
always takes you a long time to figure out something.
yeah, I know. But because to me, like, because the more I was looking into this, I'm like, because, and then, you know, your character is like, you know, you start off with you know, with a mask, right? I'm like, I was picturing more like House of Black ish style from
Yeah.
AEW. But
Mhm.
now the more, like, you know, Frank Jofo talks to me about your thing, the more videos I saw of you, I'm like, it makes sense. And now that you're saying, you know, you're a big emotion guy, I'm saying not emotional.
Not a big
Emotion guy. I'm
emotion
like,
guy. He's a big
I'm like,
teddy bear, actually.
very
That's why all
good.
the
No, honestly, in
I
person,
love
like,
you all.
but honestly, in person, when I started, like before you entered into, like you were in a hoodie, and I'm like, oh fuck, like honestly, I'm like, is Frank and I gonna get jumped? And that's why. And then I saw you on stage, like it's like night and day. But now going back to the music, like now I'm seeing your emotional aspect of it. Like
I
it's
love,
working.
like, to me, music has always been super, super important.
Yeah.
I've always taken a lot of time and a lot of, like, I've always invested a lot of time in picking out the great, like,
Mhm.
my theme songs.
Okay.
I haven't changed all that often, to be
Okay.
honest. I've only had a few in the course of 25 years.
Okay.
And it's important to me that the first note that hits
Hmm.
lets you know right away that this is the one, this is me coming
Okay.
right through.
Yeah.
Like the Tito Guo, you hear the piano, you know what it is. Before that, I used to come out to Rob Zombie's Scum of the Earth.
Yeah, I remember. I remember
And
Frank was
there's this
telling me
big
about that.
guitar that go ta-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Second you heard it, you knew it was me. And it was
Yeah.
a really more up-tempo song, which worked really well
Okay.
with the character that I was portraying back then. The character moved, like, changed. I am actually I was thinking this week of trying to blend a little bit of both the energies, maybe bring a little bit of the rage back. Because
Okay.
as much as I have fun
Mhm.
being the portraying the Beast King the way that he is now,
Okay.
not everybody in the regular crowd understands that kind of
Mm.
character.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? And it's
It's
funny that
very, he's in a very gray zone,
Mhm.
and I think I need to bring a little bit more of black and white, keep some of the gray, but maybe because I like to think that I pitch a lot of intensity in the
Mhm.
way that I portray my character now, but it's very subtle, like very nuanced intensity, and not everybody understands that. It'd
No.
be better for TV. Maybe on TV it would work better,
Yeah.
but for a live audience, it's not necessarily something they'll pick on. So I might be a little more vocal and a little more explosive in the future.
Okay, yeah, no, that'll be good. No, because honestly, at one point, again, when I saw you for the first time, oh, because obviously, I like House of Black, and that's what's got. It's just I like the magical aspect of it. I'm like for sure. I'm like in the wrestling, and like when I saw you fighting, I'm like, you know, this guy can take out a bat and then spit some like white powder in the guy's face. I'm just looking for. I was just looking for that moment, but you didn't. I'm like, all right, so he's just messing with him emotionally. Or I was expecting like the lights to flicker on and off. I'm like that would have been, but you know what? It's just you walking in saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna mess you up because I'm buff and I'm gonna knock you out.
But
That
I
was
don't want to, and that's one of the things. I might be a little bigger than most of the guys on the show,
Yeah.
but I don't want to be looked upon as a body guy.
okay.
I don't want to. I hope it doesn't come off like this. I don't want to be like a bodybuilding wrestler, I'm not trying to make any comparisons, but like a Brian Cage per se, who's obviously way bigger than I am. That's not. I'm just saying, but I don't want to be like I just want to be a guy that's big because he's a wrestler. To me, wrestlers should be big and scary. That's just my take on it. I am not saying anybody should agree with it. I'm most likely a lot of people will disagree with it. My idea of a wrestler is that, I mean, if you cross a wrestler's path on the street and you don't even know who he is, he should still draw your attention and draw your eye.
Yeah.
You should cross a wrestler and go like, who the fuck is that? Even if you don't know who he is.
So basically, you're saying that it's really controversial that a wrestler should look like he could fuck up people.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think a wrestler should just draw your attention and your imagination, even if you don't know that he's a wrestler or not.
Okay.
He's got to have a little something special.
Okay.
That just captivates your mind and your attention. I mean, obviously, you guys will know about Mike Bailey.
Yeah, I've heard
Speedball
of
Mike Bailey.
yeah.
To me, that's the ultimate professional wrestler right now. He is the absolute best in the world right now.
Okay.
Hmm.
He's the absolute. And when you see, let's just say you've never seen Mike Bailey, if you see him in the street, it'll still draw your attention because he's got this like mind-boggling shy charisma that just draws you to him. You'll see Mike, like, who's this? And then when you see him cross the curtain, walk to the ring, he's got that smile, he's got that good-looking face. He's a great-looking guy, and you're like, all right, he looks athletic. And then he starts wrestling.
Okay.
Your mind is fucking blown away. Not only because of all the athletic and the crazy ass shit that he can do, but he puts so much fucking emotion into every single bitty thing that he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he makes it mean something because he captivates you from the fucking get-go. That's what I think makes a great wrestler. And I think that's what everybody should strive for or should go for in this business.
Okay.
All right. So I don't know much about Mike Bailey. Where he wrestle right now?
Impact Wrestling.
Impact Wrestling. Okay, so that's the one I know the least about.
Okay.
You got to check him out. He wrestles in IWS. Yeah. Wasn't there for the last show because now he wrestles all over the fucking world. To be honest with you, besides AEW but mind you, he's supposed to wrestle John Moxley in the promotion in the States soon.
Okay.
He's all over the place. I would not that my word means anything or that my opinion means anything special, but I would not endorse someone. I wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it. He's the best fucking wrestler in the world right now. Nobody touches him. Nobody's even close to him.
Okay.
No, I know what you mean because I didn't know the guy. I just went to look him up, and he looks really tough. Actually, I kind of believe it that he can like be a wrestler. Like I would walk across the
he
guy.
can. Don't worry about it. He can. He's the absolute. He went toe to toe with pretty much every single indie wrestler in the world right now, and I don't know a single person that wouldn't put him in his top 5 list of personal of favorite opponents. He's just that good.
Have you fought? Did Frankie the Mobster ever fight Speedball Mike Bailey, or did you guys?
Yeah, we did on a couple of occasions.
Okay.
I would once was in Battle War at Fofone Electric. Okay. It's been a few years. I wouldn't be able to tell you how many years exactly. I will go on the record. I already have in the past, and I will go on again. It's probably my best match ever.
Nice.
It was a clusterfuck. It was a fight of all fights. And we beat the piss out of each other in a way only friends do. And we really brought it in. And it was, I've had people that like wrestling, don't know everything there is to know about it, tell me that it was their favorite match ever. And they've seen a lot of wrestling.
Okay.
I'm not telling you everybody said that, but a lot of people told me there was their best live match that they'd ever seen. Obviously, it's not Mike Bailey's best match. He went on to do much better matches, but to me, that was just like my best wrestling match of all time.
Nice.
Okay.
Interesting.
I need to see more of his match. I'm pretty sure I can find something when he was back in a Rev Pro. I'm pretty sure he might have wrestled somebody like Walter or something like that.
Yeah.
I think he has wrestled Walter.
Holy shit! Okay, I'm gonna try to find it out now.
Yeah, he has wrestled Walter. Like I told you, he's wrestled everybody.
Nice. Yeah, I know. No, for me,
Zack Sabre Jr. I want to see that now.
No, for me, it's because I came to see you, that first time, and he was supposed to be there, but for me, it's like everyone I talk to in the, some wrestlers I talk to, Speedball Mike Bailey, and I'm like, I never like this guy. This guy's only mentioned. I never like seen him, but now I'm taking your credit for it. I mean, because I believe you.
You really got to check him out. You really got to check him out. And he's such an eloquent, intelligent, funny, friendly person. If you can have him on your show, you should definitely try to do that.
Perfect. But let's
great guy to talk to as well.
But you know what? Let's focus on you, Frankie, because that's why the episode's on you. But but are there any matches like upcoming matches that you're going to be doing soon, or any
There
upcoming
is this really, really big show that NSPW in Quebec
Okay.
is having in a couple of weeks. It's in a stadium. It's a stadium show, so there should be around 5,000 or 6,000 people.
Holy shit!
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Let me rephrase. There could be up to 5,000 or 6,000 people.
Nice.
And ticket sales are going really well.
Mhm.
So we will cross our fingers that they keep doing so for the next few weeks and that we draw well. I know like most of the most sought after talent in Quebec wrestling will be on that card.
Yeah.
Nice.
NSPW and IWS are the two primary and best promotions in Quebec wrestling and
Mhm.
have been so for the past 10 years, whatever. I don't want to, and I'm fortunate enough to be part of both those promotions. And I'm really looking forward to that show, Golden Opportunity, for NSPW, because I will have the chance to wrestle Mike Marston, who's another tremendously talented wrestler here in Quebec, a guy I genuinely appreciate the fuck out of. And I'm really looking forward to working with them on such a grand stage in front of such a large crowd. And I'm coming up with ideas to have, because it's going to be a higher, production value show. I'm going to try to come up with some crazy ass fucking ideas for my entrance. I don't want this to be a random one. I want something really out of the ordinary, something really fucked that is going to scare people and make children cry.
If you need me and Joy and I to be the guys turning off the lights as as you're going on stage, I mean, let us know. We'll turn off the lights on and off. Like Joy,
I don't want light switching. I want, given that it's a stadium show, it's going to be easier to have light. I want the entire lighting to be red, like it's a blood red sky. That's what I want to go for.
Because Claudio, don't forget, if you flash the light, people are gonna think about Jean-Marc Parent, not about.
That's it. I don't want to be TMP. Flash les lumières, je t'en ai envie. No, that's not my thing.
Exactly.
Claudio, I doubt that you would know about Jean-Marc Parent. Do you know who that is?
If I said
do you know Jean-Marc Parent, Claudio?
No, I don't.
He's a French comedian.
Okay.
Very, very, very popular guy. End of the 90s. Sweet man. I had the great privilege of meeting him. Great guy, but not necessarily somebody I want to emulate when it comes to wrestling.
No, obviously not.
Obviously not.
I'm not sure you can ever. I can't even imagine you can emulate the guy for wrestling.
You can't.
You start talking for hours about VR. Like, fuck off, it doesn't work.
That's it. Yeah, but great storyteller. He wasn't wrestler, be good at it because he's a great storyteller.
Okay, nice. Nice. No, but going back to your production, I would love I would love to see your great idea coming on to. But
I'll make sure to film it and I'll send it to you. I do
Perfect.
something special. I have a bunch of ideas. It's just trying to see if I can get them played out.
Okay.
But I can get pretty creative, and most of the times people have to stop me because my ideas tend to get a little crazy.
Okay. If you don't make
not WWE.
I think outside the box, but sometimes I go way outside the box, and it might be a little bit
just
too extreme for some people.
How often people have told you it's not WWE, we don't have that kind of money?
Oh my God, every time. But it's not. But mind you, I'm fully aware of that. And I try to, but it's not necessarily about the money that I want to involve, because you don't need a lot of money to be creative.
Yeah.
It's about the emotions I want to pitch.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go way too dark.
Oh.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily the amount of times I've been told, we don't have the money for that. I've more often been told, Mark, there are kids in the crowd.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what comes out the most often.
Okay.
And funny enough, I'm probably the most kid-driven and oriented performer on any show that you'll go to, because I love to entertain the kids. And when the show's over, I will make sure that every single kid that wants to meet the wrestlers has a chance to meet me, because it's always cool. I remember as a kid, I don't have the pretension to tell you I'm special in any way. But I remember as a kid when I go to wrestling shows, and I saw these superheroes. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could talk to them. Now I'm not a WWE guy, but if I see a 6-year-old kid that's looking at me with his eyes bulging out, he's like, and he thinks I gave him a little special moment, and I can add to that by just having a conversation with him and shaking his hand and having a picture. I will definitely do that. That's the I think the best paycheck you can get, the best pay, and the best. That's the nicest thing you can get out of this business. Like you can give your emotions, and you can feed people your own emotions, and seeing them living vigorously through you, seeing some kids living that little magic moment right there, being completely absorbed by what you do, and living that, going on that ride that you give them, and throwing those emotions that they feel right back at you and sharing with you. That's the ultimate feeling. For me, that's the ultimate feeling you can get out of this business. At this point, that's what keeps me going.
Cool.
Nice.
We can kind of
it's what keeps me going, putting that smile that I can put on somebody's face when the show's over, having somebody coming over to me and saying thank you for that great little that great time that they had. Ultimately, it's fun to be being paid for what you do, but like any job, if I'm doing any job, that is, obviously I want to get paid for it. But if I'm doing a job and I'm getting paid, and at the end of the day I feel fucking miserable, I'm not going to stay there long.
Obviously.
Oh, for sure.
And this is what feels great about this. Is what's so great about this business is that you're doing it. You can make good money out of it, but you can make something great out of it, and that's putting a smile on people's faces.
Oh, yeah, no,
we can kind of relate to it because being comedians and all, and I can assure you, like, just having people telling you did a good job or it was really funny or whatever, like, it's a great paycheck, better than any sort of money. But yeah, money would be fine, to be honest. But for somebody like me that is more into Japanese wrestling, purely hypothetical, how would you describe like Quebec wrestling?
I mean, how do you describe it? On what aspect? What do you mean?
The style, like the type of matches I should expect, the type of psychology being told. Is it like how is it compared to the United States or Canada, for example?
Gee, Quebec wrestling, it's pretty much an hybrid of a bunch of places. Because I mean, you got guys like me that are totally WWE based.
Yeah.
And I would like, let me rephrase, North American TV production based, as in like WWE, WCW back in the day, AEW nowadays. You have indie wrestling based guys of the PWGs, of the GCW things. And you have Japanese wrestling influence guys, people like Lufisto, who's a goddess. She's a fucking animal. She's a beast. She's just an inspiration for everybody. So there's not, like, Quebec wrestling itself does not have a style per se. Quebec wrestling itself is a big melting pot of driven people with different passions who do everything in their power to mix it up together and make something good out of it.
Interesting.
Nice. It is very interesting. But do you see yourself trying to go audition, for AEW or
fuck no, not anymore.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest with you, I'm being honest with you. I have spent better part of my adult life wanting to be a professional wrestler, wanting to make a living out of it, and fooling myself into thinking that I could do it after a bunch of bad life decisions. Still trying to convince myself that I could go on, and finding excuses to overgo with the fact that time was passing by and I wasn't there. Now, time has passed by, and I'm not there, and I am not going there because I didn't make the right decisions. I didn't make the right calls. I made a lot of mistakes with my life, not with wrestling. And you know what? And my life is what it is because of it. I have a great life. I have a beautiful fucking family. At the end of the fucking day, nothing matters more than that.
Okay.
I don't want to come off as being bitter. The only person I should be bitter against is myself, because I'm the only person reasonable for not living out that dream that I've had for 20 years. That dream is gone by. And now I'm able to live with that. And it's fine. I like to think that I can still perform and entertain people. I'm 42 years old. I've never been on TV. I don't have a visa. And now anybody from Canada wants to go and get a job with an American company needs a visa.
Yeah.
All the big wrestling companies are not investing in visas because that's a lot of money. They want the people to already have their visas. With obviously there's a few exceptions. I'm generalizing here, but I know they wouldn't invest on a visa for a 42-year-old guy who doesn't have previous TV exposure that have to build from scratch.
Yeah, you have to learn that. It's another start.
But I'm saying as a company, I'm not an investment that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you got guys that are what, 26, 25, 27, 28, whatever, right? You got a good 10 years left in their tank.
Yeah.
You can invest a good 3 years of solid writing, of solid pushing, of solid matches with great established talent to make them stars.
Yeah.
I'm 42. You take a guy, I got 5 years left in my tank, and that's still pretty old. That's being optimistic. But you're not sure. Like, it's 3 years of investment, 2 years of having invested all time in. That's if I remain healthy. So is it worth it? No. No.
Okay. And
I'm not going to fool myself into believing that it could be. It's not. It's fine.
All right.
It's
Speaking of that, what do you think about Ric Flair that he's trying to get back in wrestling for one last match?
But it's what was it? What was the name you just said?
Ric Flair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It says it all. That's Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Right. It's Ric Flair. It's not Frankie the Mobster. It's fucking
the nature
Ric
boy.
Flair.
Yeah. Like
Ric Flair can be 125 years old. He wants to take a back body drop. I think he's entitled to doing that. It's fucking Ric Flair.
Okay.
So, there's a few guys. There's a few men in this business that can do whatever the fuck they want to do. It will always mean something. To me, Ric Flair is one of these men. Cena wants to come back in 2 years, work a main event spot, give him the spot. Brock Lesnar wants to work 3 times a year. He's Brock fucking Lesnar. Give him the shot.
Yeah.
Their draws, their global media superstars that go way beyond wrestling. I am not. I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy here in Quebec, and it's not an investment that's worth it.
Okay. All right. No. No. All going back to saying I'm like God damn, like this guy should should have more TV personnel. But now I'm saying with this is pretty intense.
You have to learn.
The only thing I'm foolish enough about to think is I like to have that one shot, just one TV match before I can call it quits.
Yeah,
I'm not saying invest me. Let me go there, work a dark match, whatever, put someone over, sign someone up really good. I just want to be able to wrestle on TV that one time. That's just that one time, and I'll be satisfied.
Who would it be?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I really don't give a shit. Put me with anyone. Let me give them the best match I can. Let me make that person look the best I can make him look. and let me showcase myself, in the same time, for that one time where people can just go, "Oh, that guy was fucking special. He was weird. That's a nutcase." Just that one time. And if it doesn't pan out, hey, I had that one time.
True.
If it was to lead to something else, well, maybe it does. I'm not looking for it. I'm not awaiting it. I'm not expecting it. But I just like to have that one time. That one thing.
Look, if Buggyman could pull it off at 48, I'm sure like you could figure out a way without eating all these worms. To be let's be clear about that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you could pull something off.
Would you also say the same thing about you doing films? Like, do you see yourself getting like that awesome action bigger role as well?
That I would definitely go on, because I'm not as at 42. I got a shitload of gas left in my tank for acting.
Okay.
You got so much material, like in acting. Your maturity level really helps.
Okay.
As in wrestling, the more mature you get, the more older you get. Your body doesn't tolerate the maturity. In acting, I like to think that the older I get, the better I get.
Okay, cool.
And the wiser I get about the choices that I make as an actor.
Okay.
And the wider my emotional range gets through all my life experiences, and the more chances I'm willing to take about exploring my mind and the human mind itself.
Oh, okay. That's okay. That's way interesting. I mean, that's also very interesting. But again, seeing the films that you've been in, and now like I want to ask this big hitter question. Like, is there any particular genre of film that you see yourself being in? Is there any like role you're like you know what, I want one day I want to try playing this guy? Is there any? Does that cross your mind?
Well, we all have I love crime movies. I love mafia movies. Obviously, that's what Frankie the Mobster was taken from. Like, we all have dreams as actors as much as we do as wrestlers. If I could work with Scorsese, with Tarantino, back in the day, if I could work with a Brian De Palma, with a Coppola, anything that was like the big main. I know Taylor Sheridan is working a mob series with Sylvester Stallone right now. Taylor Sheridan having written Yellowstone, of course. Something like Yellowstone is one of the finest TV series I've seen in the longest time. I do not look for a genre per se. I want to read a script and not be able to let it go. That's the kind of shit I want to go for. Hey, it could be a movie about tap dancing. I don't give a fuck if I go from the first base to the last without letting it go, and it enthralls me and it drags me in and it like captivates me. That's the movie I want to do.
Nice.
I just want to do good stuff.
Yeah.
Genre does not. It limits you if you want to limitate yourself to a genre you want to do. And as an actor, you have formula actors, which is great. Arnold was a formula actor, and he's one of my favorite of all times. Dwayne Johnson's a formula actor because you watch a Dwayne Johnson movie just as you did watch an Arnold movie back in the day.
Yeah.
If I was given a chance to be a formula, I'd jump at it because I'd be a fucking millionaire. But if I look at Batista, who does everything.
Yeah.
I have a shitload of respect for this man because he's you look at him, you won't expect much, but he's got so much range and he's willing to take so much chances artistically. It's mind-boggling and it's fucking captivating.
Yeah.
And he's great at every single thing that he does.
Yeah. I remember. It's funny that you brought up Batista because I saw his first movie that he's done with Rob Van Dam, and then he went with Vin Diesel for Riddick, and then now he's doing the Guardians, and now he's doing. I'm like, man, no, this guy's got range. This guy's got range.
Did you watch C, the TV series on Apple TV?
Yes.
He was fantastic in that.
Oh, he was. Like,
and you see I Spy with the kid?
Yeah.
Fucking funny.
It was, and even
No, he's fantastic.
he is,
So
he is.
if
Yeah.
you get a chance, like you're asking me what genre I want to do,
Yeah.
I want to explore every single solitary genre I'm given the chance and the opportunity and the privilege to explore.
Awesome.
I want to be able to show. I want to be given the chance to show that I can do as many possible things as I'm given the chance to do.
Awesome.
Hey, Claudio, is porn
that-
considered a genre?
I don't
Say
know.
again?
I don't know. No,
No,
he's wondering
I'm
if porn.
asking. I'm asking. Yeah, I'm asking Claudio if in cinema, like porn is considered a genre.
No. I don't think porn's considered a genre.
Oh, you think?
Porn? Did you
Yeah.
say porn?
Yeah. No, he was asking me if porn's considered a genre. I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it could be. I guess it
what you
could be.
said.
Not necessarily the kind of genre I am gunning for, but then again, God knows if you make like an Academy Award winning porn and I got a chance to be in it, I'll go.
Oh,
That'd be freaking amazing. Now I have a life goal. Now I have a
exactly. All yeah, I know exactly.
Going
It's
at
like,
the
hey,
festival of Cannes with a porn movie.
yeah, I know, and it wins many awards. Oh no, but honestly, it's Frankie. Like honestly, and I'm not just saying this because you're him. You're actually one of my favorite indie wrestlers. Because again, no problem. And you know what? For a second, I thought you were at Mafia Inc. because I worked on a mob movie.
I did not even audition for it.
Okay, because I watched it recently, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Let me explain to you because I wanted to audition for it, but I just done Unité 9 and District 31.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the director Pods was like, he was just like the main crazy criminal, and on two of the biggest TV shows, I can't have him in my movie. People will just go, he's just that TV bad guy.
Yeah. You know what? Because when I saw we watching, wait a minute, did I just face Frankie and I didn't know? But now I'm like, son of a bitch, it would have been. Awesome
I would have loved working with him, but that's what I was told. I can't. Because I get typecasted all the time.
Yeah,
I get those big like mean a biker guy type of casting all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But in that time frame, I'd been given two major, very interesting parts. And because I had the two interesting parts in Unité 9 and District 31, they weren't going to even consider me for that one. It's fine. There's other shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but still, it would have been interesting if we were in that film.
Oh, it would have been nice.
And
like I told you, like Pods is a phenomenal movie maker, and I would love to work with.
He is. Like I remember, like I was on film set for Mafia Inc. and we're outside. It was like -20 or something. He comes in with like his coat and his hat and he's all right, guys. And then I'm just there and like, because I'm like, oh, we're not gonna stay out here for a long time. And I was like in my tuxedo and I'm like, yeah, no, it's getting kind of cold. And Pod's like, yeah, we didn't even start filming. Oh, no, fuck, man, I could have gone. No, I could come out with a jacket. And
welcome to the fucking movies.
Yeah,
welcome to the fucking movies.
It was.
You're lucky. You're like when you're on the set, and when you have a small part that implicates that you have to do a lot of waiting. Yeah, you better come prepared because. Especially in the wintertime, it's fucking torture. It's torture.
Oh, it is. Even because I was in the new Home Alone film, and it was okay. And there's this moment where the main kid falls in front of me. So I was with a friend, like we did a bunch of films together, but it was 3 hours and we're outside again. It's -20, and this time I was well dressed. But it didn't occur to me. I'm like, why does this kid keep falling in front of me? And all of a sudden, at one point, like again, I didn't know it was a main character from Jojo Rabbit's. He falls in front of me, and
really? Sweet. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he is. But I didn't know that at the time because I'm a moron sometimes. So then I kept out loud.
Okay.
out loud, I kept yelling to this kid, "Kid, are you fucking okay? Why do you keep falling in front of me?" And then all the directors turned to me, and the director goes, "Sir, this is the protagonist of Home Alone." And I'm like, wow then. All right. Well,
Wow.
carry
Wow.
on.
Couldn't be bothered to figure out who's the protagonist.
I didn't. And then on Moth Inc., I remember because there's a scene where, again, because that's where I thought I encountered you, and then a scene where we all get arrested. And I had to stand in line because, there was a big arresting scene, and the police had to interrogate us. Now, this is what I find hilarious. Like half of the room was filled with wise guys, and the other half were cops. So I come on set, and I'm like, "Hey guys, look, there's a bunch of cops who are coming this way." 10 to 15 extras all fleeted and ran away. And then I'm like, this is beautiful. And then the casting director and Pods are like, but where are the extras? Like, oh, I don't know. I think they're getting into their car and they're hiding or something. That was but did you ever have any funny moments happening to you, whether it was in wrestling or film sets, Frankie?
Yeah. Film sets. Film sets. I'm always super friendly and funny, but I try to keep it as serious as possible because I'm not in wrestling. There's a lot of shit that I couldn't possibly say on the podcast because it would be out of line. What has happened? Back in the day, go back many years ago, I used to have somewhat of a temper driving.
Mhm.
And I have been known to lose my shit in my car on you. If you ever have some of my friends on your show, they'll tell the stories probably better than I would. I cannot recall the number of coffees that I had to throw out of my windows on other cars. The amount of times I almost got into car accidents because I was getting impatient on the road.
Jesus.
The amount of times I've pulled pranks on guys that fell asleep on me in the car because I find that rude if I'm by myself with somebody else in the car and you're driving for 6-7 hours and the guy falls asleep in your face.
You have an example of such pranks that you can tell on a podcast?
Oh, there's not really.
That makes it so much a good answer.
I'm to be honest, I do stuff and stuff that I wouldn't want done at me.
Okay.
But I don't do a lot of pranks anymore because I've like to think that I've matured.
Okay.
Oh, that's a hard word for me to say. I don't like that. Like, I think it's how can I put that? You want to hear funny stories about me the way you say it? I think it's arrogant for someone to say, "Oh, that story about me is funny."
Yeah.
I think it'd be arrogant for me to say that. You're better off talking to the people that know me and let them tell the stories. They'll probably come up with good ones. I don't like to fucking go on and like, "Oh, I did that. That was really interesting to me. Oh, I did that. That was really funny." I'm not like that. I don't like doing that.
Okay.
I don't know if it comes off. It's not that I don't want to talk. I really don't have that arrogance of thinking that anything that I do is interesting enough for me to say, "Oh, I did that. It was amazing." You'll never hear me say that.
Okay. Interesting. Well, let me tell you about Joey. He's very sorry.
Say again?
Sorry, Joey.
No, he just told you he doesn't do that. Like, oh, it's interesting. Look at my life.
No, I'm just saying. I'm like, no. So, Joey, no, I could tell you a bunch of funny stories I did to Joey. No, I'm kidding. No,
no.
But no, but honestly, it's again, like this tonight's interview, this is probably great because well, no, it is great. It is great, Joey. All right,
Jesus Christ.
My
a little
gosh,
bit of
Joey.
faith in your own baby, man.
Listen to me, Joy. We're okay. Anyways, that's how Joy and I are. Sometimes we're constantly.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
But honestly, tonight, Frank, it was amazing. It was.
I'm really glad I got the chance to share with you guys. Anytime you want to do that again, I'm up for it.
Perfect. So, Joy, is there anything you want to add before we end this fantastic episode?
For updates about shows I'm doing, it's gonna be on my social networks. Joey Présence et Chum, it's still happening on June, so I'll keep you posted. But usually it's supposed to happen the 14th of June, so always at La Marche d'à Côté. So there it is.
Perfect. And Frank, you wanna because we put your stuff here at the bottom where people could find you. Watch. Is there anything
Um,
coming up?
well, check NSPW on Facebook for Golden Opportunity, which is also coming in the next week. There's this really big IWS show at Club Soda coming up within the next month. I have just wrapped a movie called We Are Zombies with the movie director of Turbo Kid.
Damn it! That's okay.
I previous to that, and last summer I shot a horror movie in Ontario called Last the Night,
Yes.
and a big drama that I shot here, a big comical drama here in Quebec with a fantastic cast called Bungalow, which should be coming out within the next few months. I recently did a little bit of work on a new Netflix series called Grey Mel, and I'm looking forward to having more opportunities to come by soon, whether it's acting or anything else.
Awesome. So, folks, you heard it here. And then Frankie and I are going to be doing a movie called "Try Not to Get Whacked" by Frankie, which is going to be coming out.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Where basically, I'm trying to run away, but Frankie just nails me down, and
that's fine. That's fine. And you're talking about whacking and nailing you down. That might just be the porn movie that Joey wanted to do.
Damn it, Joey.
Actually, I'm thinking about turning it into a business. We make Claudio lose some weight by you going after him.
Oh my god, can you just imagine? Oh, before we go, I just picture you, like you guys having your show. Hey, so you guys want to lose some weight? Well, then we just have Frankie just chasing someone down with a folding chair, and then it's like down the street. Then the guy
Let's
goes,
do it. Let's do it.
Oh, that'd be a great sketch. Actually, we should do that.
Would. All right, so ladies
Let's
and gentlemen,
do it. Any sketch, anything you want to do, guys, I'm up for it.
Awesome.
Oh, okay. Great. Well, you know what? We'll get back to you soon because we know someone. Who does
I love comedy. I love comedy, guys. I love doing comedy, but I don't like to do stuff trying to be funny. I like putting a character that is not funny in an awkward situation, and the comical response to that situation makes it funny. Okay. I don't like playing for laughs. I like playing it straight in a situation that doesn't call for a laugh and that makes it awkward, therefore funny.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, I see. Kind of like my everyday life too. So, Frank,
we should spend an hour talking about that next time.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So, folks, there are links here at the bottom. You could find Frankie the Mobster, and then also all the links here where you can find our Dirty Four podcast. Frankie, it's been honestly a pleasure, and it was really fun.
A pleasure for me too.
We hope to have you back. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to everyone who's going to watch us, who's watching this or listening to this. Have yourselves a good night. Frankie, thanks again. Have yourselves a good night. Bye, everyone.